Jay Quellen. No Jay Quellen here? Balake. Where is Balake at? Ron.
Ron is present. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're having a wonderful Monday, and welcome back to the channel. The big news right now in the Danny Masterson case is that Lisa Marie Presley will absolutely be testifying, and it looks like she could be testifying this Thursday, so 2 days from today. Yesterday, the prosecution announced it has 4 final witnesses to call. Jane Doe 1's mother. This witness is a big deal because Jane Doe 1's mother, as a Scientologist, wrote many reports to senior Scientology officials about her dissatisfaction with how her daughter's complaints were being handled within Scientology world. And copies of those reports were sent to many other Scientologists. And so it looks like those reports themselves might be admitted as evidence, and Jane Doe 1's mother will be testifying. Another witness is Rachel Smith, who appears to be a corroborating witness for Jane Doe 2. And then you have Lisa Marie Presley and Jane Doe 4. Jane Doe 4 is also a huge deal. The defense's main overarching theme is that the 3 women, Jane Doe 1, 2, and 3, have essentially all gotten their stories straight with each other. They've colluded, and they've all figured out how to introduce elements of force into these attacks in order to get around the statute of limitations. And there's been an accusation that perhaps the prosecution has contributed to this, we'll call it collusion. One of the reasons Jane Doe 4's testimony is so important is because her 2 stories of 2 separate attacks from Danny Masterson do not involve force. And you might say, well, how can they be attacks? I'm not going to get into the details of it right now, but not only do they not involve force, her stories, I don't know what other word to use, occur before Jane Doe 1, Jane Doe 2, and Jane Doe 3. And this witness had been interviewed by the detectives in the case and the prosecution, and having her testify would poke giant holes in the defense's narrative that the prosecution has essentially worked to get all of the witnesses on the same page and to introduce elements of force into each witness's testimony. So the judge finally ruled yesterday that Jane Doe 4 will be allowed to testify. And so that's what we found out yesterday, that Jane Doe 4, we're going to hear from her, and that Lisa Marie Presley, we are definitely hearing from her. There's been a lot of speculation about what could Lisa Marie Presley possibly be testifying to. And, you know, for some hints about that, we can look at what the other witnesses so far have testified to, which is exactly what did you learn of these attacks? When did you learn it? And what were the details that were shared with you? This is to show the consistency over time of how each one of the Jane Does have relayed the events of what happened to them. There is another element of Lisa Marie's testimony that I'm really hoping somehow comes into play here, which is that she had a long-term relationship with one of Danny Masterson's best friends named Luke Watson. Luke Watson's mother is Susan Watson, who was the president of Scientology Celebrity Center for many, many years. And as such, Luke was very much a constant fixture in the personal and professional lives of many of these Scientology celebrities. I mean, it almost seems like perhaps he was even a Scientology spy, you know, embedded very closely into the lives of these Scientologists to keep tabs on them. Except in Danny Masterson's case, it's not quite clear whether Luke's role was to keep tabs on him or to enable him. Now, in the testimony of Jane Doe 1, Luke Watson even tried at one point to sort of intervene and prevent from happening what he sort of suspected was about to happen. So I'm not necessarily vilifying Luke here. I'm just sharing some information. We haven't heard from Luke in this trial. He hasn't testified. He's not going to testify. And I'm not really sure why. It would have been very interesting to see him on the stand. I'm sure the prosecution has its reasons. Another thing I'm very excited to hear from Lisa Marie Presley is how she answers the question that she's inevitably going to get, which is, are you currently a member of Scientology. Every other witness who has come on the stand has been asked this question. Lisa Marie Presley kind of publicly left Scientology a handful of years ago, back when Ron Miscavige Sr., David Miscavige's father, David Miscavige, the head of Scientology, when Ron Miscavige Sr. had escaped from Scientology's international management base. He was still in Scientology, but he had escaped from the base, and so was kind of in this gray area of not totally being in good standing, but not being officially expelled. You know, he wasn't declared a suppressive person at this point. David Miscavige had instructed his sisters, Ron Miscavige Sr.'s daughters, to have no contact with Ron Miscavige Sr. Somehow Lisa Marie Presley found out about this and was enraged, and personally took an interest in this and demanded a meeting with David Miscavige. Instead of showing up to that meeting, Miscavige sent his sisters. His sisters essentially dressed down, really gave Lisa Marie quite a yelling at. Lisa Marie Presley did not take that well, and she then proceeded to assist Ron Miscavige Sr. In many ways behind the scenes. And so at this point, Lisa Marie Presley was ostensibly out of Scientology. Now, during Lisa Marie Presley's very rough, nasty divorce a handful of years ago, she went back to Scientology. Lisa Marie Presley has never, to the best of my knowledge, come back out of Scientology. And yet no media outlets have ever reported that she ever went back to Scientology to begin with. And so I am just really dying to see how she answers the question of, are you currently a member of Scientology or not? Now, I'll say, even if Lisa Marie says that she is a member of Scientology right now, which honestly, I'd be shocked if she said that. I think she's probably just going to figure out how to not answer the question or something. I still expect her to tell the truth. Mariah O'Brien is someone who just testified. Giovanni Ribisi's ex-wife. Giovanni, the Ribisi family are huge Scientologists, generational Scientologists. Mariah came into the courtroom very obviously a friend of Danny Masterson, the way they were interacting with each other. And yet even Mariah O'Brien on the stand told the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. She was just straight up. And, there was another Scientologist, Sean Fabos, who came onto the stand and lied his ass off. And the jury, pretty much saw right through that by all indications. But no matter what happens with Lisa Marie, I think her testimony, I think what we can expect is honest testimony. That's how I'm looking at it. And Jane Doe 1 in this case was Lisa Marie Presley was one of her best friends. And even as Danny, or just after Danny attacked Jane Doe 1, he said to her, "You better not tell Lisa." And so, of course, Jane Doe 1 went and told Lisa. And I think what we're going to find out in Lisa Marie's testimony is we're going to find out everything Lisa Marie Presley did to report Danny's attacks on women internally to Scientology authorities. And I think we're going to hear about the pushback that she received and the lack of help and the lack of care. That is my guess. And that's going to be pretty damning testimony if that's what we hear. As of right now, it looks like the prosecution may rest its case on Thursday or Friday. It looks like the defense may rest its case on Monday or Tuesday. Closing arguments Wednesday, jury deliberations Thursday and Friday. To the best of anyone's ability to estimate this thing, it looks like that's what will happen. Otherwise, it will go into the Thanksgiving week. I'm sure nobody wants that to happen except perhaps Danny Masterson. I'm sure he's not very excited to go to prison. I imagine he would want to postpone his prison sentencing as long as possible. Fingers crossed, everybody. It's not looking good for Danny Masterson. You never know what a jury's going to do. You never know. You never know what's going on in their minds. But we're almost at the end of this thing, and the defense has scored essentially 0 points. And, if they're saving their best for last, I don't know what a fantastic strategy that would be. Anyway, look, the defense has a horrible case to defend. I sort of make fun of them that they're doing a horrible job. But, it's not that they're doing a horrible job. It's that they have a horrible, horrible case. I'm sure this defense team is doing just about the best job they can with the case that they have. So, all right, that's all I got on this for now, everyone. Thank you for watching and listening. Thank you to everyone who watches until the very end, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. If you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, Oh, Auntie Mama, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe